Pareidolia, faces in the static. You're lying in bed, eyes tracing the ceiling. A crack curves just so. A sliver of plaster becomes an eye. Beside it, a stain stretches into something like a mouth. And suddenly, the ceiling is staring back at you. You blink. The illusion fades. But for a moment, it was real. A face, a presence, watching. This moment, strange, fleeting, quietly magical, has a name. Pareidolia. It's not a glitch. It's not madness. It's a window into the architecture of the human mind. Pareidolia is the tendency to see familiar patterns, especially faces, where none exist. A rabbit in the clouds, a man on the moon, a screaming skull in the grain of old wood, a divine presence in a slice of burnt toast. But this isn't just whimsy. This is survival disguised as imagination. Thousands of generations ago, our ancestors faced a world of shadows and rustling leaves. If the pattern in the bushes might be a predator, it was safer to assume it was. False positives kept you alive. False negatives didn't. And so the brain adapted. It began to favor meaning over randomness, pattern over chaos, signal, even when there was only noise. That instinct lives on in us today. You've seen it. Every time you glance at an electrical socket and see a startled little face, every time a drip of condensation on a window starts to look like eyes, every time a shadow on the wall becomes something else, and the effect isn't just visual. Sometimes it whispers. You hear your name in the wind, music in the hum of a refrigerator, a hidden message in the static of a detuned radio. This is auditory pareidolia. Your brain, desperate to decode chaos into something coherent, reorganizing sound into language, emotion, presence. But why? Why are we built this way? The answer lies in the deep recesses of your mind, in a region called the fusiform face area, buried in your temporal lobe. This part of the brain is specialized for detecting faces. It lights up even when there is no face, just two dots in a line. Eyes, a mouth. That's all it takes. It's why emojis work, why cartoons evoke real emotion, why shadows and patterns make us pause. Because we don't just see faces. We expect them. We create them. And from that instinct, art is born. Ancient cave painters may have traced animals they thought they saw in the natural curves of rock. A stain became a horse, a crack became a spear. The spark of imagination, ignited by pareidolia, may be the same fire that lit the first creative flame in the human species. Designers, filmmakers, even advertisers tap into this deep code. Horror films lace shadows with ghostly outlines. Logos mimic eyes, symmetry, familiarity. We trust what we think we recognize, even when it isn't real. But this phenomenon walks a delicate line. In moments of fear or stress, pareidolia can turn protective pattern seeking into anxiety. A shape in the fog becomes a stalker. A creaking house becomes haunted. A whisper becomes a warning, and in some minds, this never stops. For those with certain neurological or mental health conditions, pareidolia can become invasive, persistent, unrelenting, faces in the walls, eyes in the shadows, voices in the static. What was once survival becomes a feedback loop. The brain, always looking, begins to see too much. Yet even in its eeriness, there's beauty. Pareidolia is proof that our minds are not passive observers. They are active participants in shaping the world. We take what's random and write stories into it. We turn smoke into signal. We extract gods from clouds and ghosts from wallpaper. Because perception isn't just reception, it's interpretation, it's creation. A face in the moon, a voice in the silence, a figure in the fog. These are not errors. They are echoes of something ancient inside us. A mind built not only to survive, but to imagine. And in that imagination, we don't just see the world. We find reflections of ourselves in it. So the next time you stare at a wall and think you see something staring back, don't dismiss it. Acknowledge it for what it is. Your mind, millions of years in the making, still reaching into the chaos and finding meaning, still turning static into signal, still drawing faces in the noise.